5 ancient Stoic principles that still work today. Hook. You are overwhelmed. Not occasionally. Constantly. The notifications never stop. The pressure never lifts. The to-do list gets longer every morning before you even get out of bed. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, you have started to feel like you are just reacting. Like life is happening to you. Like you are running on someone else's schedule, inside someone else's system, for someone else's goals. Sound familiar? Here is the thing. The ancient Stoics faced the exact same feeling. Not social media, not smartphones, but chaos. Political upheaval. War. Loss. Disease. Uncertainty that could swallow a man whole. And they built a philosophy so precise, so practical, that 2,000 years later it still cuts through the noise better than anything modern self-help has ever produced. Today we are looking at 5 ancient Stoic principles that still work today. Not theories. Not abstract ideas. Real principles that you can carry into your actual life starting now. And if you stick around until the end of this video, the 5th principle is the one most people walk right past. It is also the one that changes everything. If this is the kind of content that speaks to you, consider subscribing to The Unshaken Order. We bring you ancient wisdom translated into real, practical tools for modern life. Now let us get into it. Most people think their problem is their circumstances. They think if the job were better, or the relationship easier, or the city different, they would finally feel okay. The Stoics thought that was exactly backwards. Epictetus, the former slave who became one of the sharpest philosophical minds in history, wrote in the Enchiridion, "People are not disturbed by things, but by their judgments about things." Read that again. Not the thing. The judgment about the thing. Epictetus knew this from brutal personal experience. He was enslaved. He had no control over his external world whatsoever. And yet he built a life of remarkable inner freedom. How? By disciplining what he chose to see. By refusing to call something a catastrophe until he examined whether it actually was. You do this every day in reverse. You see a critical comment online and your nervous system treats it like a physical threat. You get a short reply from your boss and you spiral into worst-case scenarios for an hour. You are letting unchecked judgment run your inner life. Today, the practice is simple. The next time something triggers you, pause before you react. Ask, is this actually as bad as I am making it, or is this just my judgment talking? That 1-second gap changes everything. But controlling your interpretation is only half the picture. What about the things you genuinely cannot control? This is the cornerstone of everything the Stoics built. And it is the most misunderstood idea in all of ancient philosophy. Epictetus called it the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to you. Some things are not. Your choices, your values, your effort, your response. Yours. The economy, other people's opinions, the outcome of your hard work, the weather, the algorithm. Not yours. Marcus Aurelius returned to this idea again and again in his private journal, the Meditations. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. He was emperor of Rome. He had more external power than almost any human in history. And still he kept reminding himself that the only domain he truly owned was internal. Here is how this hits you right now. You are grinding, doing everything right, and the results are still not there. The job did not come through. The project flopped. The person did not respond the way you hoped. And it is eating you alive. The Stoic move is not to feel nothing. It is to ask, did I show up fully? Did I give what was mine to give? If yes, then the outcome sits in the column of not yours. You release it. Not because you do not care. Because you care about the right things. Draw the line today. Write down one thing consuming your energy right now. Next to it, write, mine or not mine. Then act only on what belongs to you. Most people try to avoid difficulty. The Stoics actively studied it. Seneca, writing to his friend Lucilius in his Letters from a Stoic, said, "It is not that I am brave, but that I know what is worth fearing." He spent years meditating on worst-case outcomes, not to paralyze himself, but to remove their power over him. This practice has a name, premeditatio malorum. The premeditation of evils. You visualize the hard thing before it arrives. You sit with the discomfort before it is real. So when it shows up, it is not a stranger. It is something you have already met. Think about the last time something went wrong that you had quietly feared for months. Remember how your avoidance made it worse, not better? The anxiety of not looking is almost always heavier than the thing itself. The modern version of this practice is brutally simple. Once a week, spend 5 minutes asking, what is the worst realistic thing that could happen in this area of my life right now? Sit with it. Plan lightly for it. Then return to your day without the low-level dread that comes from pretending it cannot happen. Hardship is not a detour from your life. It is part of the instruction. This one is going to challenge you. Not because it is complicated, but because it contradicts almost everything the modern world tells you to chase. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, built the entire school on a single claim: virtue is the only true good. Not wealth. Not status. Not followers or approval or the right apartment. Virtue. The quality of your character, lived out in real choices, in real moments. Chrysippus, who systematized Stoic logic after Zeno, argued that everything else, health, money, reputation, are what the Stoics called preferred indifference. Nice to have. Not what you are made of. Here is the modern gut check. You probably know someone who achieved everything they thought they wanted and still feels empty. Maybe that person is you. Because external wins are not the foundation. They are decoration. Decoration on a building that still needs walls. Cato the Younger proved this without apology. He held his moral line in one of the most corrupt political environments in Roman history, refusing wealth, refusing compromises that would have made his life easier. He chose integrity over comfort every single time. He was not perfect. But his character was not for sale. The practice here is not a grand gesture. It is a small daily one. Ask at the end of today, did my actions match my stated values? Just the question is enough to start building the wall. Here it is. The one most people walk past. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, accept the things to which fate binds you. Not tolerate. Not endure. Accept. Fully. Willingly. Even love. The Stoics called this Amor Fati, the love of fate. The idea that everything that has happened to you, the losses, the failures, the setbacks you are still carrying, is not a mistake in your story. It is your story. This is not passive. It is not giving up. It is the recognition that fighting what is already real burns the energy you need for what comes next. Right now, there is something in your life you are still resisting. Still arguing with internally. Still wishing had gone differently. That resistance is costing you, daily, quietly, and constantly. The Stoic move is this: name it, accept that it is real, and ask what it makes possible now. Not what it took. What it opened. Every philosopher on this list faced ruin at some point. Every single one of them turned toward it instead of away. Closing. 5 principles. Not theories. Not ancient history. A live instruction manual for the life you are actually in right now. Discipline your judgments. Draw the line between yours and not yours. Use hardship as your teacher. Build your character before you build anything else. and stop fighting what is already real. The Stoics figured this out 2,000 years ago. The only question is whether you are going to use it. If this video gave you something real, the next step is already here on the channel. There is more where this came from. Subscribe if you have not. And we will see you in the next one.